Hey, I'm Mark Romanack, and we're going to do a little test ride video here. What I've got with me is a Smoker Craft 182 Ultima Fish and Ski. Very nice little boat. I think you're going to like what this one's all about. The 182 Ultima by Smoker Craft is 18 foot 5 inches down the center line, has a 96-inch beam, and the maximum horsepower capacity, 150 horses. The 182 is a fish and ski model. Here in the rear casting deck where I'm sitting now, you've got an elevated seat platform right here that allows you to fish in comfort. You also have these convenient jump seats. There's two of them. There's one on the port, there's one on the starboard. When you flip those up, that's just perfect for cruising or just everyday boating. The raised casting platform on the Ultima, of course, is a great fishing platform, but it also houses some other really important features. For example, there's a really nice live well back here that's aerated. It's going to be large enough to keep all your fish for a good day's catch. You also have a dry storage compartment down here below my hand here that's going to be the perfect place to put your cranking battery. And then on the two jump seats below them is another dry storage compartment as well. So you've got lots of dry storage, you got room to fish, you got it all going on at the back of the 182 Ultima. Another really nice feature of the 182 Ultima is it comes with a ski pole. All you have to do is slide it into the appropriate spot here, lock it into position, and it's a perfect pole for pulling skiers or pulling for wakeboards or just tubing, just everyday boating fun. One of the cool features that I like about this boat is on both the port and the starboard side, you got these integrated little storage compartments. So what they basically are is they're open areas here that you can put bulky items in, but they're out of the way enough that when you stuff something in there, you don't have to worry about it being on the floor or flying out of the boat when you're running. Take items like the bulky things like this life jacket, it slides right in there, no problem. You don't have to worry about it, it's safe and sound. And that just is a really good use of the space in this boat. An 18.5 foot boat's not a very big boat, but when you use space like that wisely, it allows you to have a good place to put everything you need when you're on the water. You know, some other items that are kind of hard to stow in a fishing boat, how about things like this, your navigation light pole? Well, they just slide right into these integrated compartments like this. This is as easy as can be. Dock bumpers, they always take up a lot of room in the boat. There's never any place to put them. Well, look at that. They just slide right in there just perfect. So these open compartments are just ideal for storing all those kind of things that are hard to store in a boat. I'm sitting here at the console of the 182 Ultima, and it's got a lot of room here. There's a lot of leg room for a big guy like me. I had no trouble getting in here whatsoever. The other thing that jumps out at me is I really like the way the gauges are mounted. They're up here nice and high, so I can see my RPM and my speedometer, I can see my fuel gauge and my amp meter. All that stuff is right where I need it, so I can see it while I'm running. The steering wheel on this model is adjustable, so you can adjust it up or down for your own personal preference and how you want to drive the boat, what feels the most comfortable. I also like this big flat space over here, because so this flat space is perfect for mounting something like a sonar unit or a combination sonar GPS. Heck, you get enough room up here, you could put a 9 or even a 12-inch unit up here if you wanted to as well. Now, as far as the rest of the gauges, they're toggle switches, and the way they work is that when you flick them on, there's a light on, so you can tell that they're actually on and working. And so I can go right down the line here. There's navigation lights, bilge pump, live wells. All these different functions on these toggle switches are real easy to see when they're working. There's also a couple other cool items here. For example, there's a 12-volt accessory switch. Well, that's going to be perfect if you want to charge your cell phone while you're out fishing or while you're out boating. And so it's got some nice features there as well. And then down below here, out of the way where it doesn't get bumped, is your AM/FM radio. So this little console has got everything you need for a fun day on the water fishing or for boating. I've just hopped over to the passenger side console, and right away there's some pretty cool features here. For example, up on the top, when you open this up, look at here, you got a nice little storage compartment for fishing tackle. This is going to be an ideal way of storing things with terminal tackle. Pretty convenient to put that in there just like that. Then also, of course, we got a glove box, and I hesitate to even call this a glove box because these boxes are so big, there's a lot of room in here. You're going to be able to store all kinds of things in there, fishing tackle, and of course cell phones, whatever it is that you're trying to keep dry, the glove box is a really good place to do that. Now, underneath the console, there's also a lot of room. In fact, I've got a pretty good sized tackle storage bag in here that I can put underneath here. So there's a lot of room under here to put tackle if you need to. And then integrated into the console itself is where you're going to store your deep cycle batteries. Now there's one on the port and there's one also on the starboard side. So if you put a 24-volt electric motor on this boat, you'd have plenty of room to put those two batteries in the boat and store them where they're not in the way. Walk-through windshields like the one that are featured on this boat are overwhelmingly the most popular choice among American boaters. And there's good reason for that. They give you a lot of protection when you're running, not only on high-speed runnings where you're trying to protect yourself from the wind, but also on those inclement days when you're trying to dodge raindrops and keep that stinging rain off your face. Walk-through windshield is going to give you the best protection possible. Hey, let's go forward and talk a little bit about the bow on the 182 Ultima. Of course, you can see that it's got these nice bow rider cushions. There's one on the port and there's one on the starboard. They're nice and cozy here, so two people could sit up here and get some nice sunshine. Now, the other thing that I like about it is in the corners here, there's also cushions. So what could happen here is you could put your back against the windshield and you could be riding here in comfort, so it makes a nice cruising location as well. Now, that's not all that goes on up here. There's other cool things that happen up here. We could take all these cushions out and we can convert this into a fishing deck. I'll show you what that's all about here in just a second. You know, once I remove the bow rider cushions from up here, I can take and convert this into a fishing platform very easily. All I have to do is just lift this up, fold this out. Look at that. That's just the perfect configuration right there. Now I've got a great platform here that I can fish from. There's a couple of other features up here that are pretty important. For example, this is where your electric motor is going to be. What I like about the electric motor is it comes on a quick disconnect bracket. So if I need it for fishing, I've got it. If I decide I want to go wakeboarding or skiing or some other feature that I don't need the electric motor, I can take it off and I can stow it. So that's really a nice feature. Of course, up here is also a secondary feature. You've got a second live well. We already talked about one of the live wells at the back of the boat. There's a second live well up here in the bow, and there are two dry storage compartments up here as well. So the bow has got a lot of things going on. It's a great place to fish. It's also a great place to store a lot of your gear, and it houses the electric motor and it houses the batteries underneath. Can't be much better than that. If you like what you see with the 182 Ultima, I recommend going to the webpage smokercraft.com and check it out. You'll find a lot more information there. Or if you prefer, just look up your local dealer and check out Smoker Craft boats.